brother or sister, they're going to look like exactly the same.
They look just, I was like, you have to be the other clan.
It's like Russian nesting
Alrighty.
dolls.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to 0 to 100 real quick. So, everybody has a handout? Awesome. So, the focus of today's Crew PD, the 0 to 100 real quick, is getting to 100% specifically by developing and maximizing your radar. And so the focus is going to be on that sense of witness so that you can better respond to off-task and inappropriate behaviors. And the purpose of this is specifically so that we can increase scholar engagement with academic material. Like, that's the purpose of having 100%, because it leads to 100% of academic engagement. So it's not necessarily 100% of kids acting smart is the ultimate goal. 100% of scholars engaged with their academic material is the goal. And so we have our objectives here. Can I have a volunteer read the first objective? Thank you, Remy. You can read the second one, Carrie.
First objective, analyze the techniques that master teachers use to catch and respond to off-task behavior to ensure 100% of scholars remain engaged with the academic content.
Number 2, apply the techniques that master teachers through deep practice to develop and maximize the effectiveness of our teacher radar.
Okay, so it's all about increasing our radar, and once again, just really honing in on the fact of it, that it's not gaining 100% for the goal of just gaining 100%. It's so that we know that our scholars are focused on task and all brains are working. So, the key terms that we're going to be using, and if you open your packet, these are the key terms on this page 3. Yeah, so you want to grab one of those. So, key terms and things that we're really going to be focusing on today, refining and developing, are number 1, building your radar. So, teaching yourself to see accurately and efficiently. Number 2, to be seen looking, making it really clear to scholars that you're looking. So not only are you creating it and making sure that you see what's happening in class, but making sure that scholars know that you see. They see that you see what's happening in class. And then the backing it up. So that's being prepared to deal with scholars who haven't done what you've asked. So when you're gone from the, I know exactly what I'm looking for, I've positioned myself so I can see it, they know I'm looking for it, I've asked for it, and they're still not giving it to me, then what? Any questions about those 3? All right, so this session is not necessarily like reviewing 100% all the way through. It's really honing in on this compliance you can see component of it. But when we think about 100% and what it means, just as a refresher, the first is that least invasive intervention. So we're making sure that we are addressing and correcting scholar behavior and getting to 100% without having the behavior take center stage. So it's not a matter of everybody knowing and the behavior is like the sage on the stage. It's making sure that we're doing it in a way that maximizes academics and minimizes behaviors. Next, making sure we are firm, calm, and finesse. And so that is making sure that we are, number 1, maintaining stability. And so being really clear and then saying things like thank you when they've met the expectation. And then also consistently making sure that we are de-escalating. So that's where that calm comes in. Firm, calm, finesse in the way that we have the conversations and get to 100%. And then the last one is compliance, you can see. So like I said, that's the one that we're gonna dive into. And so when I say compliance, you can see, number 1, we wanna make the compliance visible. So this comes with the what to do. That's what Kate's doing right now. So making sure that we are being really extremely clear with what we're looking for and making sure that we can actually see that to know that 100% is being met. Next is using our radar. So really building that teacher radar and positioning yourself appropriately and knowing what you're looking for. And then avoiding marginal compliance. So knowing exactly what you're looking for and holding firm until you get exactly that. So this is going to be like the bulk of what we're talking about for the next hour and 15 minutes. We're gonna watch a video. Has anyone seen this video before? So I want you guys to watch how many passes does the team in the white make. Okay?
This is a an awareness test. How many passes does the team in white make? The answer is 13. But did you see the moonwalking bear?
How many people saw it? So, it's easy to miss something that you're not looking for. I did not see it the first time or the second time. Both times I'm like, wait a minute, I did not see a bear here. So I want you guys to take a minute and just reflect on how does this video, how is it relevant to our work as teachers? More seconds. All right, let me hear what you guys said. How is this relevant to our work as teachers? Sorry?
When I saw the 13, I'm sitting here and I'm so super proud, and it makes me think about when coaches come in, like sometimes I feel like I've taught the worst class, and they're like, that was great. I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes they may say, I think I did my best, and they'll say, look, these are the things that I saw. It's like you can't see yourself. That's why it's important to have coaches who tell you like what you're supposed to be looking for versus what you think you did so great or not so great.
Amber?
It reminds me of the students that we've trained ourselves to see, and then the one day our high performer acts up, you're kind of just like, wait. Or other students will be like, you didn't even see so-and-so. They, even because they are always answering the questions right, they did the same thing, but it's like when your top, like, off-taskers are acting, you've trained yourself to see those, which, for what, the good students, they can easily get away with. They could have been potentially chewing gum as well, but since you're not expecting them to, because they typically show like ideal behavior,
It's not on your radar,
right?
Yeah. Esther?
I would say even like outside of management alone, I think like there are so many things that teachers go into the classroom that we're managing in our minds, like our agenda for the day, curriculum, like time management, and then of course our like scholars who act out, thinking all those things. And I think sometimes I'm like not even thinking about like how is the student's day going? Like did something happen today? Like if something were to come up in their lives, I just like I wouldn't have the like mental capacity to address it because I'm thinking about like how many passes are being made. Karen?
And if you do end up focusing more on how many passes, if we're going to just have this metaphor, if you pay more attention to the 13 passes than the bear, and the 13 passes are the kids that normally get called out, like your Zach, like all those 13 passes, I'm thinking Zach Davis. Like I'm just sitting there watching the board, and I'm missing the bear, which is like the high performing kids that may be getting away with stuff, and then Zach might see that those kids are getting away with stuff. You're showing inconsistencies in the discipline. And it's hard for students to buy into a discipline system that they feel is unjust and that they see is not consistent.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else? Because it could also be like I have like a really good conversation going with 3 kids, and I'm so excited about the levels that they're reaching with their thoughts, and I don't realize that there are like 20 other kids who are like not thinking it all right now. But I'm like so excited about like, yes, you guys, you got it. Today was great. But it's like those 3 kids got it, and it was great. So the thing is, if we said like, all right, from the beginning, everybody look at the moon walking bear, then everybody would have seen the moon walking bear initially. And so that's what building radar is, like knowing what you're looking for, like knowing what the moon walking bear is. And so I want you guys to think about what is your moon walking bear. Just take another minute to list out some times where you're missing things in the day and you know, like in reflecting, like, yep, this is times when my radar is not 100% on.
Anytime you show me your cards.
Seconds. So what behaviors are you most likely to miss because you're focusing on that moonwalking bear? What is the moonwalking bear?
I mean, I feel like we've talked a lot about like active disruptions, but something that happens frequently in my class is like, oh, that's work for a completely different class that I haven't picked up on yet. Please do that way.
Scholars working on something like they're working.
Yeah. And so they look engaged. It's
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt.
I was gonna say the same thing, but then also what Amber was saying about like checking with the students that usually are doing really well. Like those people could totally work on something else because I'm like, oh, she has a principal and she's already on task with what she's supposed to be doing. Then someone like turns to someone who usually doesn't start working right away. If I notice he's working right away, I know it's probably for another class, so I can like focus in on it. So it's like making sure that.
Oh, sorry.
Me doing a lot of the listing and not realizing that when I do allow students to answer, that other kids aren't focused on
Just about
the
to say
actual answer, which causes me to repeat myself a lot. I have to stop. Like, the answer's 4, right? Yeah, the answer's 4. See, everyone is 4, and it's time wasted.
Yeah.
It's like answer when you're on a topic and a student asks an individual question, and you want to be able to give the student, you're still addressing the whole class, but you're still focusing in on the student who asked the question. And a lot of times I'll catch myself suddenly like just focusing on the student, or I look around, like immediately like there's one kid like this. And like they're just waiting for time to pass the question, the answers, it doesn't apply to them. So like the moment someone has a question, even if it's one they need answering, they're like, oh well, no one's paying attention to it. Like how do I keep that engagement before it goes to the larger?
I feel really confident in my discipline. My moonwalking bears are purely like academic, like those middle kids who don't really like, not to be rude, but like don't really have a personality. They're just like, they're compliant and on task. They're not super zesty or like, here goes crazy so-and-so coming. Like those kids who are just kind of coasting, that kind of get ignored, but that I'm technically teaching to, this middle group.
Right, yeah.
I also think my moonwalking bear is any classroom that is not mine, because I feel very, very strong about my class's discipline, but like, if I walk into another teacher's class or I left my water bottle or something, I'm just like, this is insane, but should I say something? Like, or I'm just gonna pretend like I don't see any of it because I don't wanna step on whoever's instructing's toes, or I feel myself even getting loose with my ZPD because it's just like, y'all didn't really start with me, so y'all don't get to like, in my classroom, you need to be in a seat when the bell rings, so I'm kinda just gonna like, overlook some things because, like, I don't know, or you'll walk by the glass and see things happening and you're just like, I'm just gonna pretend like I didn't see that because those are my moonwalking bears. It's like, where's the line between like, this is on my radar, I saw it, but this isn't my radar to control.
A couple that I had, one was specifically like during, when kids are working on the do now and you're checking homework. So kind of like knowing that they're on task with the do now when you are focused on checking homework. And so sometimes it can be like 4 or 5 kids with something that's like not completely done. Was one that I came up with. So building your radar is about eliminating those walking bears, moonwalking bears, and increasing what you see. And so it's going to be more about like in your class than outside of the class. I'm happy to talk about that in here if the space comes up or afterwards. But being able to teach ourselves to see behaviors that we tend to miss. And so thinking really metacognitively about like, why am I missing those behaviors and what can I do differently to make sure I'm catching them. So the first one is typical positioning. So this is a teacher, and I think that this is all like everybody's space. This is where I am right now. When I teach CPD, this is where I typically am. When I teach Saturday school, this is where I typically am. And so this is typical, and it's not wrong to be there because like this is here. But when it comes to making sure that you're seeing everything that's happening and trying to make sure that you have 100% compliance, it takes more energy to stand here. And when I say more energy, it's not like more like 3 longer minutes, but this idea that you are swiveling 150 degrees from this point. You're kind of like having to look up when you're here, as opposed to if you just turn the corner. And then now, when you are in that corner area, you can more easily see everything from here. Or if you were to go down there to that other area, you can more efficiently see everything quicker. And been hearing a lot of conversation about like 55 minutes. And so when you have 55 minutes, like the quicker that you can do anything, the better. And so if you guys remember from the summer PD or any other TLAC training that you've had, that this is called Historis perch or Pastore, I don't know. But this is his perch in these 2 areas. And so making sure that you are able to see more effectively and efficiently. So, see Jim is here, being seen looking. She's looking at you, so angry. But here, when we think about building our radar, we want to make sure that we are not just standing in those areas to see things from a different view, but just moving in general and intentionally. So we talked about what the perch is in the corners of the room. The other thing is just going to the other sideline. So if I'm always here in the front, then sometimes going to the back and looking from there and thinking about, well, what can I see differently if I come to the back and I'm watching kids work? Or if I go over here, if I go over there. And kids seeing you doing that in an intentional way. So I'm not just walking over here to look at my notes. I'm walking over here specifically so that I can watch and see what's happening from this view. Or if I'm going to the back, and when you're in the back, most kids are kind of going to be like, what's going on back there? Oh, he's watching me. And then like really focusing on their work. The second one, once again, this is what Kate's really focusing on now, is giving really observable direction, so really clear what to do. So pencils down and eyes on me versus just eyes on me.